All right, so quick video time. We are going to talk about good SEO and why it's important. All right, so this was a really good video that actually just came into play 20 minutes ago as of this recording. I had a potential client that we were talking back and forth that does do work in the real estate realm of things in the Central Florida area. And we are looking to see what makes the most sense as far as for moving them forward successfully for either marketing or just being seen for their products or services or being well known. Everything part and parcel as to what SEO is about. So our initial discussion, led towards that. In the end, they wanted to try to focus on an email marketing campaign. The difficulty with this is if you don't have good content, nobody's going to take you seriously. So I preface by saying this. SEO, especially in this particular industry example, is everything. So during our call, I pull up a search and I do Orlando Realtors. Now, these folks do a variety of services, as far as for land development, contracts, commercial properties, residential properties, investment properties. There's a whole lot of things that they do, which is great. The problem is they're not niched down and their content isn't really polished, right? So, which is why they're reaching out for us to chat and see what can be done in the first place. The thing is, they don't show up anywhere. So just for the Central Florida area alone, there are over 7 million results, 7,400,000, blah, 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 at the time of this recording. The difficulty was nowhere in that top search did they show up. And not only is that heavily weighted based on local SEO, local reviews, Google, Yelp, maybe even Angie's List. I don't know if that really constitutes as a review process for this particular industry, but it is helpful in the home services business side of things. Case in point, they showed up and ranked on the real estate aspects, but not for somebody who's going to be a new homeowner buyer. There wasn't any real domain authority there. So what I want folks to really take away from this video is our conversation was, how do we engage with those I believe they had maybe 1,000 or 2,000 potential folks that they could email blast out, campaign out in their database. How do we instead try to reach them and not have them turn off? You might have a 30 or even 40 or 50% open rate, which is great. The thing is, it's only 1,000 people and you're not niched down enough where when I get on your website and I look at your content, I don't know how to reach you. I don't know what's really going on within the first 5 seconds. There's a lot of jank that's going on. It turns me off. It turns any potential clients, customers, or investors off too. It looks like a fly-by-night. So it's very, very important to have your content be polished as a brand, look unanimously the same, social media, website, printed materials, and when your pay-per-click ads come into effect with either Facebook or Google PPC, this is important. When folks look at this, they're judging you. Is this a credible company? Are you buying reviews? This particular group, firm, they're not involved in any of those things, but I want them to be able to see the bigger picture rather than going after the 1,000 folks that may or may not be interested. You can reach out to them in a newsletter type of interest, but you want to have that website really have all of your information right there as soon as they click. Make it easy. People can dig a little bit more and see what you're about as far as for targeted blog content and about us and resources, things that are in addition to why folks are coming in. But during that call, it was really clear that this client didn't really have these are the 3 things that we've niched down on and why we want to move forward that way. They wanted to create targeted content, but to what? To where? It wasn't clean. It wasn't ready to go. Furthermore, because of the pandemic that has been going on and roasting most of us financially and in a lot of different areas of industry in 2020, it has accelerated the process in a lot of real estate proposals and companies. Case in point, also at Central Florida, you're looking at, I think it's last time I checked, roughly 8 million people are projected, new residents are projected to be in the Central Florida area within the next, I want to say 4 to 6 years. That's a lot of people. And if your SEO is not up to snuff, whether you want to blast out beautiful email campaign marketing or make great videos or reaching out with great contacts or whatever it is, these folks are going to pass you by. And potentially you could have those 7 million results. You could be actually up on rank 1, rank 2. You've developed your website so that it does niche down for specifically the Central Florida area, for the South Florida area, for Windermere, for Ocoee, for Apopka, for Altamont. Orlando, specific areas and counties that really go to your demographic can be built into your website. Again, it's not hard. It is just tedious. And one last thing that I do want to kind of cover with this real short video is plugins, especially all-in-one services that will just give you indicators. They're great as a start, but you should not be leveraging your entire company, business, and marketing SEO direction on a built-in plugin and what it says. It is not going to be able to adjust for the correct algorithms. It's not going to know what your specific niche is, keyword indicators are, and how it ranks. And the more keywords that you're stuffing in, your alt tags, your website, it becomes spammy, I think, after 4 or 5. So you really want to have, obviously, your name somewhere up there trending, your company, your product, your something that really stands out that you can keep retagging into for social media purposes, quick video content, IGTV. This is evergreen content that you want to be able to trend. These are where your folks are. Okay. These are where your customers are. This is where everybody is. Instagram. These are where your people are. Connect with them in manners that make sense. That is what SEO does. If your website is not niche down and it's not content ready, you could have the most beautiful ad, proposal, email campaign, or blast. You've done your A/B targeting. You may have gone as far as getting your psychographics, your demographics done. You've checked, you've deduped, you've merged, you've purged. You've made sure your database is clean as possible. It's still going to fail. Not only that, it's not prepared for the SEO purposes that is intended for that market. Certain markets are going to just be great no matter what. Anything that has to do right now with fencing, construction, HVAC, refrigeration, especially in the state of Florida, they do not need marketing. It is word of mouth. But real estate, everybody's buying and selling. I've seen folks that are making phone calls and making bids for offers way above asking price, going through on FaceTime, and that's good. All right, book it. And they're in a different state. They've actually not set foot in the property. These are things that, regardless as to what go on, are going to be critical with your content, with your website, if your SEO is not in check. As these millions of residents start to make their way to the area, guess what? That SEO is going to be done and ready to go. And the folks that have it in place are the ones that are going to get the phone calls, are the ones that are going to be seen, going to get the visibility of that domain authority. And also, I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of getting newsletter after newsletter, email after email. And I don't know whether or not I can actually unsubscribe successfully from a newsletter, and I just mark it as spam. Well, when they do that from your domain email, you are getting way too many red flags that, hey, there's a lot of spam that's coming from your organization that we're just going to now start putting in your spam inbox or other inbox or whatever of your clients, of your customers. So when you have these normal conversations, guess what? People are not really going to see them anymore. So that's not really something you want to have happen, especially if you're not prepared and not having that real, true targeted content. This is the difference between hiring somebody from Fiverr or Craigslist or Upwork that may or may not have the answer for your organization, and somebody who's actually local to your business, your industry, and is actually a industry professional that knows what they're talking about, can provide you not only that timeline of service and understanding, but if you take a look at any of the content that we have, I'm sure there's going to be a link up here for when I talked with Deepak about SEO. That was a really good episode in the podcast to take a listen to. But there's a lot of great content on this channel that have to do with a whole lot of creatives making their lives easier, making businesses, small entrepreneurs, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, just giving them some insight that, hey, this makes sense. Let's take a look at that. So hopefully this helps somebody out. SEO is king. It is still important in 2020 and beyond. More importantly, anything mobile searches, Google reviews, that's really where your focus should be. Comment below if you have anything else that you think would be important SEO-wise or that you've learned this year besides keeping a 6-foot distance and covering your face that's been important. I'd like to hear. Hopefully this helps somebody out. Appreciate it, and good luck, everybody. Have a good one and be safe.